When I was in high school, I was on the tennis team, and there was a day where I didn't feel like practicing, and so I went down to the tennis coach slash civics teacher to let him know that I was going to basically blow off practice. And he said something to me that day that I'll never forget, and it's something I want you to never forget. He said, Rhett, that's fine, but know this. Right now, someone is practicing tennis and you're not. And when you meet him in head to head competition one day, you'll lose. So, because I'm a pretty competitive person, that really affected me. So, I decided not to miss practice. And I had a different coach who actually was a semi pro who knew I liked tennis. And so he took me under his wing and he taught me the right techniques to playing tennis. So, if any of you know tennis, and this is similar to probably learning just about anything, the first time you put the racket in your hand and he puts it in the way that it's actually supposed to be, it doesn't feel like it could be right. Like you're thinking, how is the racket facing this way? How am I going to be able to hit the ball and it's actually going to make it in the box over there? Because it seems impossible. So once you realize that this is how it is, it's because you're throwing the ball way above your head and you're throwing your arm way above. And so once the racket meets the ball at the right angle with the top spin that you're going to hit it, there's the geometry of that process that is just not in your mind at that point. And so the difficulty now of taking what is a new, more effective process and trying to override my regular, comfortable, but less effective process is the war that happens at that moment for all of us. I don't want to lose. I am very frustrated by hitting the ball over to the condominiums and over to the track. And tennis now is very much a chore and a burden, right? The joy is gone because of this stupid new technique that I have to use. And believe me, when you are losing and embarrassing yourself, every part of your being wants to go back to the less effective and more comfortable way of doing things. This is true in all of processes of learning in life. If you're going to improve, you have to kill the old way and replace it with the new way. But the old way is a freaking zombie that can't be killed. He is always there waiting to rise back up at that moment that you don't want to lose this game and you want to go back to that old way because you know this way will get it in and to hell with this way, right? That's the way it is. But you can't because the only way forward is to allow yourself the process of overriding the comfortable but less effective way with the less comfortable but more effective way. That's the secret. Job seeking, and let's say in particular interviewing, is tennis. Okay, there's the serve, but then after I had to learn the serve, there's the footwork. Then there's the net game. Okay, there's all of these components, right? So interviewing has a number of different techniques. And these are not readily known. And most people come to the table like, hey, I'm pretty good. And they think that what skills they have learned on the tennis courts of their community with their dad, right? They think that that's good enough, and it's not good enough. The competition is fierce, and people are practicing. And if you're not, you'll lose. Your job is to learn the technique exactly the way it's supposed to be. Okay, there's no like, oh well, it's a suggestion. It's not a suggestion. It's exactly the way it needs to be. And your job is to learn every nuance of that technique perfectly. And then the X factor is effort. Your responsibility to you and your family and those relying on your ability to get your tennis game quickly to the next level so that you're not wasting a whole season because you're not putting the time and effort in. Your responsibility is to make sure that the time frame to kill the zombie of the comfortable but less effective is as short as possible. So hours, right? Until you can crush the ball consistently in the box past the person on the other side, right? Where you go, that's what it feels like. Until someone objective can say, nice serve. Okay. Until you get there, you're not there. You have to give a concentrated amount of effort to getting comfortable with that new serve so that it becomes second nature to you. Because I promise, the minute you hit the ball the way that it's all designed to go, wild horses couldn't drag you back to the old way. You won't even remember the old, less effective, or really bad way that you used to answer the questions. It's everything. Everything is riding on this. There's a limitation to how effective you're going to be able to be in convincing people that you're the one that they need to hire. You're going to have to create a lot of daylight between you and the other individuals that you're competing against, and so you have to be exceptional. And it's only when you combine the right technique with your effort and seriousness, knowing what the angle is, what the topspin is, why you answer the question this way, because it does these things that you may not even be aware of yet. But this is what it is. So technique and effort, and as much effort as you can give to speed along that process so that within a couple of weeks, right? Look at that new beautiful serve. It's fabulous. That's what's got to happen. Thank you.